How's everybody doing? I'm doing back-to-back reviews today, so there's going to be 2 videos in a row of me out on my patio just because it's a nice fall day here in northern Indiana. Rob lent the Certina DS1 I did a review on, and this Seiko Solar Tuna for me to review. Super cool watch. I told Rob it the minute I opened the package how impressed I was with this. For the money, I think it's just it feels well built and heavy. On this strap code bracelet, it feels even more robust, I guess you could say, more heavy duty. And on the strap, it feels, it's lighter, but it still has a good heft to it, if that makes sense. We'll do the things I like. The things I like are, I like a different color hour and minute hand. It makes it stand out to me. I like it. It adds a little something. And I like that it's loomed from the pip down to the 15 mark here on the bezel. And the loom in the bezel and on the minute hand are the same color, and then the hour hand and the indices are their own color, the normal typical Seiko kind of green, I guess. It's got a nice action to the bezel. It's very typical Seiko, little clicky, tinny sounding, but it feels good. I mean, it's smooth enough, and it's smooth enough, and it engages positively enough that it makes for a good feeling bezel. It's like one of those bezels you sit at work and you're kind of bored and you kind of spin the bezel around your watch just for something to do. So I like that. I do really like this dial. I like the wave pattern on the dial. I think it gives it a little something extra. And let's see if this is... You can kind of see it's glowing already just from... I'm just sitting out here on my patio, but those are things I really like about the watch. I like the 4 o'clock date. I have to have a date on a watch. Watches with no dates, it drives me crazy because I write the date multiple times a day at work, and for some reason I can never remember what the date is. I don't know if that's an age thing or what, but anyway, I gotta have a date on a watch. I like them at 4 o'clock. I like the crown at 4 o'clock on this, and I'm impressed with the size of the watch, how well it wears. I think it's a 47.5 millimeter case, but with the lugs being so short and like pretty much dropping right off the edge, it wears great. I think if you have a 6.5-inch wrist or above, you can wear this watch. You might be able to pull it off with a 6-inch wrist, depending on your wrist. If you're more flat-wristed like I am, my wrists are kind of flat, or if your wrists are more round, I think that would probably determine, more so how it's going to wear on you. But I've always wanted a Tuna, and my hang-up has always been, one, it's almost $1,000 or over $1,000, depending if you want the bracelet or not, for a quartz watch, and that's something that's a hard thing for me to do. Anyway, but this one, the Solar Tuna here, you still get a 200-meter diver. You get the Tuna as far as the design. If you like the design of the Tuna, you get the Tuna design. And you don't have to worry about changing the battery because it's solar, and you don't have to worry about servicing it because it's solar. I would love a spring drive Tuna, but those get a little salty and a little big for me personally. But who knows? Maybe it wears a lot better than I would think for the size, considering the case design. Here's where one thing that drives me nuts, and then another thing I'm iffy on. The thing that drives me nuts, the second hand doesn't hit right on the marks. And that's a thing with me. my Citizen Echo drives, or Eco drives, however you want to say it, I've only ever had one out of I don't know how many of those that I've owned that didn't hit the marks dead on every time. So for me, it's kind of a quality thing. I don't know if there's an adjustment they can make in the movement, or how to fix that. It's not the chapter ring. The chapter ring is the chapter ring. Everything lines up really well, and it lines up better than my SKX. That I can tell you. My SKX isn't really off that much, but that's one thing that just drives me nuts. I wish it would just hit the marks dead on, because once I see it on a watch, I can't unsee it. Maybe I would get over it. This watch, though, I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time not buying one of these. Even given that little flaw, I've heard of, $1,000 tunas that don't hit the marks dead on, which quite frankly, I don't really understand how they get away with that, but they do. The thing I'm iffy on is the shroud. It feels durable. I think it's it reminds me of a polymer, like a handgun polymer almost. It's durable. It's not going to break. But I would like to see it, I think, with a stainless steel shroud, just to compare. Just to see what the difference is. I know that would change the price, but just for my own personal, what I want to say, just my own personal satisfaction, I guess, of comparing one to the other side by side, I think I would like to be able to do that. One thing that I've never been able to do is get my hands on a strap code bracelet. I've never bought one for any of my watches. Thought about it lots of times, but never did. This is a Super Jubilee, I believe, and could be the Angus Jubilee. I'm not sure. But this bracelet, I know not watch related, but I just wanted to point this out. This is a super nice bracelet, and I may have to pick one of these up. Like I said, I've been considering it for a while. I like the screw link design. All of strap codes are they're all solid end link watches, but this one just it's got a nice feel to it. It's bendy, but it's I don't want to say it's bendy, but it's well put together. You can tell that it's put together well. I really wish that more manufacturers would go with these screw bracelets. It can't be that much more expensive to do it. Why they don't, I don't know. But like I'm sure I'm not the only one that hates Seiko's pin and collar system, and I don't hate many things, but I hate the pin and collar system for sizing. It's very secure. It's good as far as things aren't going to fall apart. I would just much rather have screws for ease of changing the straps, or not changing the straps, sizing the bracelets. Speaking of changing the straps, that you can do real easily because we have drilled lugs, which years ago I hated watches with drilled lugs because it didn't look finished. And as time has gone on, I prefer that on, if it's going to be an everyday watch for me, I prefer that. I don't know, even on this Certina diver, I would be fine with drilled lugs, just so I could get the bracelet off easier and wear a NATO if I wanted to. But this watch also has the 21 millimeter lug width, which I don't understand. Just make it 18 or 20. People need to get away from the 21. I don't understand why they use the 21. But anyway, this watch, I mean, if you want a tuna or a tuna style watch without spending $1,000, I don't think you're going to do any better. I had an SUN019, which they called the Kinetic Tuna with the GMT. It was a neat watch, but it was just the design of it super heavy. I bought a rubber strap for it, which the rubber strap is a lot like the one that this one came on, which they're really, really nice. They're a lot better than the ones you get on an SKX. But that watch was just ridiculously heavy to me until I put on the strap, and I liked it. But the kinetic thing, it's a neat idea, but if it's not a watch I'm going to wear every day, I think Jeffrey McMahon said it's like having to walk a dog, and he's right. I like them. I like the look of a lot of them, but I can't do it because of that. But anyway, yeah, Seiko Solar Tuna, Patty edition or not, I think this is a winner. Great watch for the money. So if you're looking for this, if you really want a tuna and always have, and haven't wanted to drop $1,000, I think this is the one. And you can put, like Rob's done, you can get a strap code for it, and it'll really change the look of the watch. Anyway, thanks for watching.